Yeah. No, I think it's exactly what I want to touch on. And I think throughout this conversation, you've mentioned a lot of things about mindset, a mindset shift that young people need, that maybe Africa needs, that I think everyone in this world needs. And something you've mentioned a lot about accountability and about getting things done, you know, and those are two things that I live my life through. And I can tell from doing my research and also from listening to you now that you believe nothing is impossible. Like you believe
absolutely,
you believe everything's in reach.
Everything. I mean, think about it. We could put a man in the moon. You could get a young and two kids who've never owned a home. They created Airbnb.
Yeah.
And now that looks like the world's biggest hotel. You got a young scruffy kid sits out there, created Facebook. And you could say on and on and on. So you can't tell me it's impossible, but we have a chance to really look at it and say, because the story we tell ourselves, it really defines our outcome.
Absolutely.
And when we look at our young people and tell them this negative stuff, it's not possible, you can't do it, you can't build the biggest show in the world, you can't do this really amazing stuff, you know what happens?
They believe
You've
it.
talked, of course, if my mind can conceive it, I can achieve it. And that's really what matters here. We need to tell them, you go out there, you make it happen. If our young people can do better in sports and we cheer for them and all of this, why can't we say the next generation of African or billionaires will come from Africa, from any sector, be it clean energy or oil or gas, but also be it from science and everything, banking, finance. We need you need to celebrate success. You need to encourage it, nurture it, celebrate it, promote it. And once you do that, then you bring in positivity into this next generation of Africans. They need that more than ever.
Yeah, and I think this is not even just in Africa. I get this. I feel this from being from Europe as well. People see their lives through their limitations, not through their possibilities.
Yeah, but Europe is different. Europe, if you make it big in Europe, you're a thief. Something is wrong. You know, and that's the problem. We need to say, if you make it big, yes. Like, bro, how did you make that money? I want to make mine.
I want to know as well.
I want to
exactly.
know. I want to learn. And because we need to encourage that, because I think the problem there is that we've built a mindset that says you just belong in that place. And I think I think that's really divided people, and it's creeping into our thinking where they tell me, oh, you black, so you stay back, or you stay in this corner. No, that's wrong. That's just wrong. You know, oh, you're white, so you need to be in this corner. That's just wrong. We need to look at the boundless possibilities and go there. I mean, we talking about African Energy Week. When I started African Energy Week, we were taking on a 30-year established organization that ran this conference, and they ran away to Dubai, and we started it, and within 5 years, we were able to do it better, bigger, and we've seen more numbers, more people than a stock listed UK organization that did that. But these were Africans, these were Cape Townians. We had all our vendors, everybody was from this city, Cape Town. They did an amazing job. No one would believe that. But these Africans in this city beat a UK established organization, global. They call themselves global. So you can't say we don't have the possibility to just turn this around and do it better. We need to start believing in ourselves, and we need to start believing the story we tell ourselves, because, you know, as a writer, you say we need to be like what I say, like what Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God writing our own history. So that's my view of this.
Yeah, and I think throughout your career and your life, you've always wanted to challenge the status quo and challenge the big players. You know, when you started Centurion Law Group, you did it to challenge the international law firms that were, you know, basically dominating the market.
They did.
Yeah.
We didn't have a shot. And also for me, I wanted to say African lawyers can participate. Like at the end of the day, I've negotiated more oil and gas contracts than any law and than any lawyer in this continent. I've seen more of the deals than anyone. But the biggest problem there was that we just didn't have the belief, you know. I mean, I didn't even study oil and gas law.
Me neither. So
I walked in the room. I went to law school to be a civil rights lawyer.
Yes.
You know, I wanted to do litigation. My heroes were Thurgood Marshall, Charles Hamilton Houston, and then I ended up with the UN. And now the UN is like, what happened to you? You're like a prodigal son. Like, when are you coming home? Yeah. But then I fell in love with oil and gas, and I went back, and I just said, yeah, but I could do it because you had key things: research, critical thinking, legal writing, and your ability to take big complex issues, narrow them down, and then just get to the point. And something I learned prosecuting cases: keep probing, keep probing. And with that, I just beat all those big guys. I just beat all those big guys. You had to see me in negotiations with them. I was looking at them, but you know what? I did the work. I did the work. I did the work. I stayed up at night. I read my papers better. I prepared my case better because I knew if they fail, they have a good excuse. If I fail, you out.
Exactly.
So every negotiation, every deal, I treated it as my last deal. And the fear of failure has been my biggest driver because I know they're waiting for me to fail. They're waiting for me to just mess up. So that fear of failure is actually my biggest motivator to just go out there and do it. And at the end of the day, I got the discipline more than they have. And you need to have that discipline. You need to have that rigidness. You need to be able to just focus and really just do what you need to do. And you need to have that drive to compete. And you to really have, and I went into lawyering with a winning mindset. I hate to lose. Yeah. The fear of losing I'm so scared about losing. I don't like losers. So I don't go home with a loser. So I like to win. And so it's like, I got to win this. I got to win this. So I always panic about what if I lose. I don't want to think about that. And I think that gave me that will, that drive to say, hey, man, I'm going to take you on and I'm going to beat you. And every time I find a challenge, I'm like, give me something bigger. I'm going to beat you.
Yeah. No, I think that comes back to something that, I wanted to touch on the less PhDs and more PHDos. Because honestly, I was listening to an interview you did recently, and the moment you said that line, I paused the recording. Because honestly, that to me sums up how I look at life. And I think people are far too focused on what papers they have to demonstrate what they have on paper. But at the end of the day, can you deliver? When you say you're going to do something, are you going to deliver? That's what I care about.
You got to build the best podcast we have in the world, in the energy industry. Don't think small, think big.
Exactly.
And I think when I did African Energy, everybody thought well, it's just going to be an African conference. No.
It's more than that.
They thought about it from an African. They're like, oh yeah, those Africans, they'll do this. I said, no. So I sat with the team and I said, listen, if you want to fit that stereotype of this is an African conference, get out. I don't want you here. I want to build something which it's the best in the world. I want, when you look at it, you said, this is better than ADIPEC. This is better than CERAWeek. This is better than Gastech. But you know what? It's going to be African, ingenuity. It's going to be in Africa. And what more else can you do it? I think you got to put your mind in it and do it. I think we get caught up so much in my credentials. See, I got that PhD.
No one cares.
See, I got that master's, and I went to Oxford, and I went to Maryland, and I went to New York, and all of that don't matter if you can't deliver. That's why I say we need more PHDos, not PhDs. I used to look at these PhDs. I'm like, whenever people tell me PhD, I'm like, no, I'm not. I got it, but I'm not jealous of you. I call it a player hater's degree. You just a player hater because you're not really performing your best. Nothing wrong with PhDs, but people is delivery because we've had so much people focus on achieving academic success, but not really having professional success that delivers and that change the lives of people. And I think in Africa, we need to change the lives of people more. Our energy industry need to do more that change the life of people. The people that produce the energy we need, that really make sure that the lights are on and cars are moving, most of them don't have PhDs. It is people working on fields. It's people digging up coal mines. It's people who are technicians doing that. But they are changing lives every day. They are working on that. I respect those people than the guy who sits in his office thinking, well, everybody needs to bring me a paper to sign because I sat in a classroom longer than was expected and I wrote all this stuff. I think we need to really focus on delivering. Africa, to be honest, we need more vocational training. We need more people using their hands to do stuff. And I think when we do that, we change our continent. We just get better.
And one thing I can tell from speaking to you is that, like I said, you have that complete inner self-belief, and I think that inner self-belief is what allows you to go and do what you've done. So kind of challenge the status quo, create that Pan-African law firm, create an Africa Energy Week against all the odds. My question is, to a lot of people, they don't have that innate inner self-confidence. Is that something that you've always had, or is it something you've built? And how can someone build it?
I think I built it. I built it from adversity. I built it from doubt. A lot of people never gave me a chance. A lot of people never thought it was possible. I think you can build it. It's not always there all the time. And here's how you build it. First, you look at yourself. You have that honest view. You look at the mirror. Problem with us is that we look at the mirror and we don't see what is at the mirror. Mirrors are not to reflect what we see. Mirrors has to correct what you see. And it starts with that inner probe. I talked to you about the Socratic method. Like, how do you have that Socratic, democratic conversation with yourself? And when you do that, and also you check your ego, and you walk in there with strength, but with humility, and being able. And now you get that opportunity. Don't walk in there thinking, oh, everybody owes you something. Nobody owes you anything. Don't walk in there coming in and saying that, colonialism and racism and all of that. Check that out of the room. It's not going to work. You walk in there feeling, I'm going to deliver because I want to get this done. And you know what? Sometimes it's a business to you. It's free market. You got to have that client-centered approach and say, I want my client to be happy. I want to serve my client. But you also got to be tough because it's not going to be easy. You need to be tough. It's a contact sport. The reason why sometimes I win in these games is that I'm not scared to get into blood spat. I don't have a problem. It's like sometimes I don't know if I'm just built that way or I created that way. It's like, okay, you want to go at it? Let's have a go at it. The bigger the opponent, the better. But the other thing you have to do is that you know how to deliver. You deliver the best product out there, but then also listen. Know when to pull back. Know when to say, okay, I've pushed the envelope a little bit too far. I need to be able to pull back, but then be able to understand when to turn things around. And it doesn't hurt to say I'm wrong. It doesn't hurt to walk back a comment or anything. We all have gotten to that place that you say, whew, I wish I didn't say that, But then you need to be able to see things differently. Like sometimes I sit with my staff and my colleagues and I make a decision and they're like, why you do that? I'm like, no, you don't see what I see. You just don't, because you got to look at the totality of the circumstances. And you need to also find that winning language, that words that work. Like sometimes I talk to people like, what's the biggest word that you would ever tell someone to use when they start in a conference or a speech? I said, imagination. Just imagine this, imagine that, imagine this, and then you put action to it. Because the biggest thing you need to do to find that self-confidence is that you have to raise that imagination. You have to raise it with people beyond what they see. And, with your faith and how you do that, then it goes. But you need to imagine those possibilities that can come if you put in your hard work. Imagine if you build this better. And once you imagine where it can be and where you want it to be, then you move it. There is nothing so powerful than an idea that sticks with you. Then you put action to it. It means that idea's time has come. Marching armies can't stop you, and you just keep moving at it. but you have to put action to ideas, and then imagination comes into into reality. Because no matter what you do, prepare yourself every day, read, work on yourself, because integration without preparation is frustration. So you need to be the first person you need to work on. You need to work on yourself, get that inner belief, and say, I can do this. And we talked about football. If a football player doesn't have self-belief, he can score a goal, he can defend well, and he can be the best top shopper that you'll see in the game.
Yeah, so I guess it's a point of just trusting that inner voice and trusting that vision, Because I always say that I'm not necessarily a believer in God, but I believe there's something existential, and I believe the vision you have in your brain only you see. No one else can see it, because it's normal. No one else is in your brain, so that vision is yours.
Exactly. But whether you believe in God or you don't, I think you can have faith.
Exactly.
But faith without deeds is no faith. You need to put action to faith. You need to put action to your belief. And I think, especially with young people in energy, I'm going to Energy Week. I'm starting in 2 days. I'm going to find a lot of young people. They're going to come to me. They're going to say, they're scared to be in there. I understand it. I know how it's scared to, you get scared to be in that room. I know how you walk and you meet all these big shots and big executives. I'm like, oh my God, are they going to talk to me? And I say, no, walk up to them.
You've got to believe you belong, right?
Believe you belong there. Act like it. Believe you walk up there, shake your hand. Hey, I'm John Doe. This is what I do. Like, what do you do? And find that confidence in yourself. Get your business card, share your card, get his card, and then get him to mentor you. But when he mentors you, don't walk around acting like you know everything. Be willing to be schooled, and when you're schooled, believe you me, some way, somehow, the angels would exalt you, because your humility and your willingness to work hard and your openness to new ideas. Because I'm in this big thing about data centers I'm trying to learn a lot about right now. Big new ideas, but you just have to be able to do it. Don't walk in there because you had 10 clicks on your TikTok post or Instagram post. You think you know more than everybody. No, you just got 10. There's somebody who got 1 million. Aim for 1 million, But there you need to be able to do it and fight for it, because nobody is going to give that to you just because you happen to be part of this ethnic group or part of this generation or demographics. No, you only get out what you put in. So you have to put in the work.
Yeah. No, and something you've spoken about in the past, and you've mentioned today, is the idea of victimhood.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, I know. And the idea of, like you've said in the past, the self-bigotry of low expectation.
Yeah.
And people kind of see their social surroundings and their identity as things that hold them back, But what I like about you is that you seem to want Africans to escape those stereotypes and not see barriers as things that hold you back, but as things to tear down and push out the way.
Exactly. If there are barriers, tear down. That's what you need to do. But that's self-bigotry of low expectation. The stories we tell ourselves make us to believe it. We tell ourselves that, this is just for the white kids. This is just for the black kids. This is just for the Arab kids. So it's not our thing. No, that's not true. But also we tell ourselves that you have to expect low. I talked to you about the view of people talking about building an African conference or an African company. No, it's those Africans. It's just going to be low. That is exactly the wrong approach. We need to believe that we can do this world class. And you know what? Whatever stereotypes they have, turn it around. Turn it around and show up every day. And if we don't do that, then we become the victims of our own circumstances. Then we show those people that looked down on us that they were right. Somebody might be responsible for you being down, but they're not responsible for you not getting back up. It's up to you to turn it around and get yourself back up. We all take a fall, but you know what? It's the ones that get up. It's the ones that believe that they can still get up and still march on and still do what is possible. But that's really who gets past this. That's really who succeeds. Look, we're talking about oil. You know how many oil? We only hear about the big discoveries. Do you know how many dry wells they do? Yeah. You know how many companies go bunkers? They fail. They don't have the money. But these guys come right back again. They come right back again, and they keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming. I mean, think about people who live distant shores. They leave the Gulf of Mexico. They come right into Africa. They go out there to explore for energy. They live different places around the world. They go out there to dig up coal mines, and they work in different installations. Go in the place where you have to deal with mosquitoes and malaria, not knowing what's going to happen. But they kept that faith. They kept believing that it's possible. You build that. You get that going. You win. That's how you win. I mean, climate issues, you got young people in Europe talking about it. They might not really understand it, but they're talking about it. You need to get African voices to talk about it too. Believe it. And then you change the game to the next level.
Yeah, and one of the things you've always mentioned is setting those, what to other people might seem completely unrealistic goals. Set goals so high, because the moment you set those high goals, you automatically beat everyone else.
Shoot for the stars. If you miss, you might land on the moon.
Yeah,
it's still not a bad place to be. No, at least I'm above than you. So you got to put the expectations so high. Like when I built the law firm, we became the first African law firm to be listed in the German Stock Exchange. And everybody thought
you were listed. I didn't realize
we listed in the German Stock Exchange. Everybody thought in Düsseldorf. Everybody thought we're crazy. Yeah. But we said we're gonna set the standard so high, and you're gonna build it so up that no matter what you do, no matter what happens, you're gonna have something that works amazing, because you've built something that comes out big, and you go. But you got to, is that. I don't know if it's there's that African song that say you want to bam bam, you want to chill with the big boys. Okay. That's it. But you know what? If you want to chill with the big boys, you're going to have to work really hard to chill with the big boys. That's just the way this game works. And it is not impossible. I mean, if a kid like me can do it, believe you me, everybody can do it. We didn't come from money. We had nothing. We weren't just poor. We were poor. P-O. The O-R we didn't have an option. So, but you need to be able to look at yourself and say, I can recreate this. But find those people around you. And I think that's the beautiful thing. I mean, energy, I was taught energy not by professors, but by white guys from America, from Europe, who took me under their wings and just showed me a lot of stuff. These are, geologists, petroleum engineers, lawyers. They just showed me stuff every day, every night. I learned so much from these guys. And with faith and with hard work, and some of them say, now you know more than more than us. I don't think I know more than them. I think they're still my teachers. But they just inspired me and shot me up to greatness.
Yeah. No, and one of the big goals you're setting now is to make energy poverty history by 2030. That's a big goal.
That's a big goal. We have to. We don't have an option. We talked about 600 million without access to electricity, 900 million without access to clean and cooking technologies. The standing order has to change. We cannot accept that. It's a human rights issue. If we don't have energy for every child in this continent, and if we're going to talk about meeting net zero by 2050, we need to make energy poverty history. We need to get people the electricity they need so they can grow this thing. And that's why we have the all of the above energy strategy, that we use all forms of energy to get to where we are. I know some people will say, well, but you need clean air. But nobody wants to breathe clean air in the dark. They don't want to do that, because at the end of the day, what are they doing? You need electricity. And so if we don't have these aggressive standards, climate change is a problem. Energy poverty is a problem. You got to do the two sides of the same coin. You got to deal with them both. It can't just be that we deal with climate change because somebody is really concerned about that without dealing with energy poverty. We have gas in Africa. We have oil. We have coal. We have sun. But the sun wouldn't shine forever. The wind wouldn't blow forever. You might need gas to generate you the electricity you need. But we also need to do with our energy infrastructure. If we have provide energy infrastructure. $15 billion is needed to do refurbishing of all our refineries. We need to put in $100 billion a year to fix African energy infrastructure so we can connect Africans to the grid and really be able to move electricity, but also move energy products across this continent. You do that, you beat energy poverty, you create jobs, you industrialize our country, and expand our tax bases, give our young people hope that Africa that they believe in, it's really working for them. Hope that their future is not on the streets of Europe. Hope that they can become the best generation ever that existed in our continent. If you do that, then we're looking at that because now we have a mindset change. They're not thinking about colonization and racism and all that stupid stuff. They're thinking about the real stuff that they have to do. They're holding their hand. We're going from Cape to Cairo, really pushing our continent. We're going to Europe just for vacation, not to stay there. We're going to America to visit and come right back here because this has to be the best place to live. This has to be the best place to raise a family because at the end of the day, it's about family. And this has to be the best place to really build better businesses, better families, and why not have the better tech and innovation centers in this continent? We can do that. I just believe we can do that. We just have to get to work.
Yeah, no, I love that message because I think people don't really understand how far-reaching the energy industry is. Without energy, we don't have literally anything. You know?
We don't.
And it's a frustration for me that people like turn the light on, especially in Europe, and it's like, oh, it's just there, you know.
It's always been there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the issue. But I think right now, the Europe is facing new realities, and it's going to change.
Yeah. No, and basically the mission of this podcast, you said through Africa Energy Week, you wanted to create more than just an event. You want to create a movement. I want to create a movement to change the narratives around the energy industry, to kind of bring the energy industry to a new audience, educate not just people in the industry, everyone needs to know how this industry works because it's the foundation of everything. And it's quite a big mission. And so man to man, I want to ask you a bit of a mentorship question.
Yes.
From someone who's done it to someone who wants to do it. Give me the complete truth. What am I going to have to give up? What am I putting myself up to? What am I going to have to deal with to make this a reality?
You're going to have to give up a lot of sleep. And
that's fine.
But also you're going to have to give up a lot of personal time. And I tell you, I got a wife, I got 3 beautiful children. They are the biggest victims of my work. I don't get to see them a lot. I don't get to spend a lot of time with them. My wife is the most patient person in the world. She really puts the family together. She shows us so much love. You're going to impact your personal life. It's tough, but the competition out there is stiff. You're gonna have to compete, and you put your product out there and go the road less traveled. You would have to go where nobody goes because everybody wants to be in the beauty fancy place. But if you want to really make this the best in the world, you also got to seek the big names. It doesn't matter, but always seek mentors that pull somebody and say, come sit at my table. And I think it's really important, and that's why I really like when you do this, because I tell people you need to really have people who say, come eat at my table. Come sit with me. Pick up a call and say, I want to interview the Saudi Crown Prince. I want to interview the OPEC Secretary General. I want to sit with them and I want to have that conversation. And you pull that out. But I think to build that, but also think commercial. I'm a capitalist. I don't believe in socialism. I don't believe in communism. I think that those things they're scary to me. You have to have a commercial narrative. You have to know how do you make money with it, because you can't fly on a camel's back. You're gonna have to pay for stuff, and you're gonna have to live a good life. So you need to have a very strong commercial narrative on how you build this. And once you do that, the sky's the limit, because then you can invest more. You can invest in different things, and you can really drive and make it bigger.
Yeah, and I think what you said there about choosing the path less traveled. I think in life there's that saying. What is it? There's some saying that's like choose the easy path in life. But actually, what I've come to find is actually when you choose discomfort, when you actually on purpose choose the harder path, that you choose the discomfort, you mentioned that before, choosing uncertainty, choosing doubt, that's when you truly grow, and that's when you truly get that confidence.
You come out better. Yeah, you come out better. If
you believe in yourself.
If it's too easy, everybody does it. That's why you got the 90% that is right under. You get the 10% that is right on top. Those people there, they stayed crazy. They had outrageous expectations, and they ended up doing big. Many people just want to get in there, clock in 9 to 5, go back home, sleep, come back the next day. They all get fat and tired, make new kids, and then they complain about and whine about what the world has done to them. They're not really seeing that they never put in an extra minute than was deserved. I mean, some of them don't even get overtime because they came and stayed past overtime. So you need to really go that. And, we have that. We see that across. Leave everybody. I always say, don't count on that man's money. Count yours. I think a big mistake I see with a lot of young entrepreneurs, they count on somebody else's money. I don't know how much money you have, because if you know how much money you have, you don't have any. Just focus on making it. Focus on building, focus on growing, and when you do that, the rest falls in place, and everything goes forward, and that's really what shapes things.
And one thing you were mentioning in the last bit you mentioned was the idea of kind of focusing on your own path and not looking at other people, not counting other people's money.
Yes.
And that ultimately is I think it's something a lot of people struggle to do, because when you don't have that inner self-confidence, that true belief in yourself, you look at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
How can someone keep out that noise? Because it's the noise, everything that's going around. You have to focus on yourself.
You have to shut up, but that's when you call about being purpose-driven. And when you're purpose-driven, part of that process is shutting down the noise, because there is too many that will tell you it's not possible. There's too many that tells you, like...
I love it when they tell me it's not possible.
And it is. Like Nelson Mandela says, it's always impossible until it's done. There's too many that will tell you, don't do this. You're going to fail. Look at all these 10 guys, they're going to fail. But then once you start believing that meant you never believed in yourself, because the noise is there. They all, like, I remember when we started Energy Week, like, the law firm was easy, because for me, I knew, like, hey, I got no choice, I'm a lawyer, this is what I'm going to do. But Africa Energy Week, it was always like, yeah, you can't beat those guys. It's not possible. Like, just forget it. Like, what are you doing? You're crazy. And for me, I just turned off the noise, but I said, I'm going to outwalk you. And that's how you shut the noise. Focus on your stuff, and you said, I'm going to outwalk you. I'm going to outrun you. I'm going to out-hustle you. And I'm going to I'll beat you. And I just focused. And what I did, I went to every country. I went to Somalia. I went to every country. I met with the leadership in the country. Don't forget, with the chamber, we already had a massive network across the continent. Really massive. People just didn't know. We're a 4 million database. So most people just didn't know about that. Data was key. But then when I said, okay, now it's time to roll out the army, it just came flooding in. So I would call and I say, listen, the president of country X wants to see you. The minister of country X wants to have a conversation. And that was during COVID. We were just getting out of COVID, so I was having Zoom calls with presidents and ministers and everything. And they just went out fighting with me. And we made it happen. But because at the end of the day, whatever you do and the stuff what you're trying to build, it's not for the naive. It's not for the faint of hearts. You have to really go in there, really going all in. And that's the only way you get it. Again, I say, shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars. You need to shoot for the stars. And if you're going to do that the noise has to go away. And if the noise don't go away, you're going to fail.
Okay. And actually, I have 2 more questions. Actually, I need, if you can get me a book from my bag. It's an orange book. If you open the middle part, my colleague got me a book called Carpe Diem, Seize the Day,
yes.
And it's basically a compilation of a load of quotes.
Yes.
And I basically tried it with you can just pass me the bag if you want. No worries. And it's a compilation of quotes about seizing the day. Seizing the day. And in my last interview, I tried this. and I thought I'd try it again because the guest liked it.
I'm going to fail.
So basically, I want you to open the book on each side.
Yes.
On one page, on each side, there's 2 quotes.
Yes.
And I want you to choose one
Okay.
and tell me what your analysis of that quote is and what it means to you. And if you open it and you don't like either of the quotes, you can open it again.
Okay. All right. First one. You can create your own destiny. I think when I see you can create your own destiny, is that destiny is a choice. And if it's a choice, you can create that. Mm-hmm. And we have always had this story we tell about ourselves that I was born in this country or this area or in this kind of family and everything. Our circumstance, you know, what I see in this is says, don't let somebody's perception of you become your reality. Mm-hmm. You change that. Mm-hmm. Create that new destiny of what you can. That's just the way I read it.
That idea of perception versus reality is something I speak about a lot, and I think it's really important on a personal level, but also for the energy industry. The perception versus the reality of the energy industry is obviously what we've been talking about.
The perception, exactly. We have given ourselves that perception. They told us so much that the energy industry is bad, and we started to accept that. And I think for us, our success came from saying, no, it's not bad. We see you with energy. We see you with industrialization. How dare you tell us it's bad for us in Africa? We also need that energy. We also need that in industries. We also need those good jobs, not just good jobs, good paying jobs. So, and we have people today going back home to Europe and America feeling like that they came from a lost war. It's very hard to say someone call himself an oil man. Mm-hmm. They call themselves like, oh, I work in energy. No, you work in oil. Be proud of the work you did. Stop apologizing to these people for producing oil that changed generation, changed humanities, improved human flourishing, and really made us the envy of the world. Stop apologizing. You're a winner. And if you don't let that, if you agree to that perception, then you're done.
Mm-hmm. And my final question, I'm basically asking each guest to leave a question to the audience. So it can be a question. It's hard on the spot, but it can be a question about mindset we've spoken about the future of energy, something you think that a question that would summarize kind of the conversation we've had and something you think people need to go away and reflect on.
My question would be, tough one. It would be,
you have a lot to choose from. You've said a lot. What
would you want to see the energy industry and Africa in 2050? What do you expect our continent to have when it comes to energy, beating energy poverty, and how do we get there?
Okay, that's a good question.
Tough one for the next guy.
Thank you so much, Angie. I really appreciate the time. I know you're super busy, and I appreciate the hour, 20, 30 minutes that Hedda has given me. She might be a bit angry when you walk out there.
I love it. No, it's an honor. I couldn't have missed this for the world. I think you're an amazing young man doing extraordinary things. It's a massive journey, and I'm just honored that at least when you get to be really big, I'm going to say I was one of the first to get on this program.
100%.
So thank you.
You're part of the journey. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.